Today, I'm going to talk about the legendary Nikon F. Hey, what's up everyone? You good? This is Hyunmin Jung from HMJ Photography. Every Thursday, I upload videos about cameras and photography in English and in Japanese. So please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. So today, I want to talk about a camera that made a huge impact in the history of photography. We can most definitely say that this camera really changed the history. I present to you Nikon F. This is a fully mechanical single lens reflex camera that came out in 1959. Apart from having such a classic beauty, what makes this camera so special? Why is this camera so historically significant? This Nikon F was not precisely the first single lens reflex camera, but it was the first single lens reflex camera that could actually satisfy professional photographers. The aperture diaphragm only closes when you press the shutter, so when you're looking through the viewfinder, it's always nice and bright. Also, you can lock the mirror inside in case you need to, and most of all, this camera is built almost literally like a tank. Some people call this camera that it's like a hockey puck. Really, this camera even stopped a bullet. Before this camera, a lot of professional photographers used Leica rangefinders or medium format Rolleiflex or Hasselblad. But from the moment this camera came out, a lot of professional photographers started to use Nikon F. At the time this camera came out, the world was going through Vietnam War, and a lot of war photographers used this Nikon F. Partly because of that, Nikon became like the camera for professionals. Okay, enough with the history lesson. This camera is almost as simple as a single lens reflex camera can get. You are in total control, so it's totally up to you if you can take nice pictures. Well, at least you have superb lens lineups with Nikon. Nikon lenses are known for being really sharp and good. Also, it tends to be very affordable compared to other expensive brands. Is this good for beginner photographers? Well, that depends on how enthusiastic you are. If you just want a fun camera to shoot films, you will have a difficult time and you should probably go with point and shoot. However, if you really want to master the art of film photography, this camera will become a very good teacher for you. If you can use this camera, you can use almost any film cameras. You can change the viewfinder, and there are 3 types. Eye level, which is this one, waist level, and a viewfinder with light meter inside. I personally use this eye level viewfinder because I think it looks the coolest. When you don't have a light meter inside, there are a couple ways to calculate your exposures. First one would be to use a light meter like this. The easy way would probably be using your digital cameras to simulate your exposures. However, I personally think that the most badass way to calculate your exposures is to use Sunny 16 rules. What is that, you say? Well, it's a way to calculate your exposures without using light meters. I'm probably going to make a dedicated video about Sunny 16 rules later, so today I'm only going to describe this very briefly. When it's sunny outside, set your aperture to f16 and your shutter speed to the number that is closest to your film's ISO. So if your film ISO is 100, your shutter speed will probably be like 125. If your ISO is 200, maybe then 250. And if your ISO is 400, your shutter speed will become 500. And if your ISO is 800, your shutter speed will probably be around 1000. From there, you compensate the exposures. If it's not super sunny, it will be like f11, f8, or even f5.6. And if you don't want to change your f-stop, you can compensate it with your shutter speeds. It will take some practices, and it may not be super easy, but it will be very rewarding. Since this Nikon was a huge success and a lot of people bought this camera, there are a lot of Nikon Fs in the world, which means you can get this legendary camera for a very reasonable price. I personally found this online, which was sold as a junk, but it works fine. I love photography and I love cameras so much that my wife gets jealous sometimes. So, having such a historically significant camera is very special to me. Thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, and share. Until next time.